Did you guys realize that Pony's face had never been shown on live broadcast?
Yeah, I realized I messed it up last week, and now who cares?
That's not true at all, is it? No, there's no way ever.
Look, someone said it was weird to see Pony's face, and I was like, "Holy crap, that was the first time."
On a live stream. Okay,
stuff just came in.
All
the Minneapolis stuff for the out of town stuff.
I thought I saw a plaid kit. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so now I have like 4 scarves.
So nice.
Why not have? I need to bother them. Oh shit.
Oh yeah, it sounded like your boy's gonna be in Charleston for CCC.
I need to bother them for a scarf.
I just got mine in today.
Did you get it for free?
Yeah, if you get the out of town subscription.
They have a really good out of town seat. Not to be an MLM, like not to be Minneapolis shill, but they have a really solid out of town season ticket plan. So your actual tickets go to what is it, like the Boys and Girls Club in Minneapolis?
Yeah, something like that.
Ah, sweet.
And then you get all the swag.
That's real cool.
Yeah.
Also got a away days kit in.
Hey.
What was your away days kit?
Got Olympiacos.
Nice.
Oh, interesting.
Hey. Pony, how's it feel to have disposable income?
It's weird.
Okay.
Being alone under 30 gets to you.
Yeah, I'm queuing everything up for me. I'm going to hit record just so we can start when we want. Good deal. It's happening. We're live. I wonder if anyone's in our chat. Someone is in our chat.
Yeah? Did you link it so I can say hi?
No,
you didn't. You didn't pop it out. You linked the video, which I'm not going to click because
hold on. City, Brian Cook, and Harry Alston are in our chat.
Oh, here we go. I've never figured out how to give you the chat link, but here it is. There we go.
Yeah, we're learning today, everybody. Live chat is pop out.
Karsten from Lou City. Have you been with us before? I think you're new.
Karsten, I think is Lou City fan on Twitter. No way. I'm pretty sure. Alan, I know. This is what happens, guys, when you forget to put the guard on your beard trimmer and just go for it. So I was like a 16th of the way through my beard, and I went, well, this has to go now.
Well, 3/4 of the show have shaved today.
Pony.
I get lazy. I leave it at this level.
Fine.
It gets to this really quickly and decides to say stop.
Okay.
Mine does the same thing. It gets longer, but I have to like trim it specially to make it work. It's ridiculous.
Welcome to Beard Talk, the first, best, and only podcast about beards. It's not true at all.
From men who grow, mediocre beards.
Ooh, mediocre. Take that back right now.
Best beard in USL. Who has it? Go.
Best beard, Matt Pick. Oh,
pretty good. I love the goalkeeper from OKC. What's his name? DeBoer. Yeah, DeBoer.
Okay,
love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think on mine.
Can we just go with the guy GB Fall bit?
I don't know who that is either.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea who it is. All I remember, you could see the kind of the mouth mark in his beard.
Ew.
The San Antonio back, or like the not Restrepo San Antonio goalkeeper, right? That guy had a pretty mean beard.
San Antonio's number 2 had a really good beard. I love it.
Was that who it was, or was it like Fresno? Someone out west had a goalkeeper.
Brian Ownby. That's a very good. That's a very good.
Oh,
good shout.
Yeah, Harry got it. Matt
Cardone.
Is that the guy I was talking about?
Yes, it was.
Oh, there we go. So it is the San Antonio not Restrepo goalkeeper.
Yeah, isn't Restrepo not even San Antonio anymore?
Hey, well, Harry's here. I was trying to be nice.
Matt Cardone actually just legally changed his name to San Antonio's number 2 goalkeeper.
And we're just like verbally living out a Twitter thread right now, by the way.
More or less, yeah. This is the USL show reads live tweets, basically.
Yeah, basically.
So I guess with that being the case, I'll just start the
show. There you guys go.
What am I looking at?
I just put it in the
okay, all right. Hold on. Pending approval of the chat. Okay, there's Matt Cardone. He's 25. It's good. 6'3", 214. Number 99. I like it. The image isn't loading. I'm stalling. I apologize.
beard
There's a
stats
Matt
on there.
Cardone meditation. That's very good. Yeah.
What are all these?
Yeah.
I was just putting a photo of Matt Cardone in the group chat.
Oh yeah.
It's really good. Can we proposition the USL, at least at the championship level, to have a beard of the week?
In the MLS Reddit, there was a best and worst hair of the season, and they always vote for a bald guy to have best hair.
Does Breck Shea always lose?
You put Beckerman against Breck Shea. Wait, the Breck Shea?
Yeah, Breckenridge. Yeah.
Oh, member of he's in Atlanta now. I just remembered.
Oh, that's right.
It's like right.
Whoa, Harry, there is a beard of the year? Or do you just make that up and like tell him that he won it? So I was not informed of a beard of the year poll.
Yeah, Reddit
stuff.
Oh, all right.
It's like I don't follow Reddit enough. Like
I don't either. I don't follow. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I don't follow any Reddit. But if I was going to follow a Reddit, it would be USL Reddit. So
I need to get better at following the USL Reddit this year.
All right, guys.
We were up for an award, so like we really.
I know. We need to. If we have a presence, grease some palms, kiss some babies.
That's right.
Whatever.
We got to work on that.
Yeah. Anyway, hey everybody, welcome to the USL show. I'm a little rusty at this. It's brought to you by Roughneck Scarves, which is your home for men's national team, women's national team, USL, MLS. Any scarf you can think of. Check those guys out, roughneckscarves.com. We're also brought to you by and produced and very proud to be a part of the Beautiful Game Network podcast, at which you can find at bgn.fm. Or at the BGNFM on the Twitters. So go check those two places out. Really good stuff. We are adding people left and right daily still, primarily on the written side of things recently, which has been really cool. Did we not just pick up a wonderful woman covering, what is it, Minnesota United, right?
Ford Madison,
Yep.
Ford Madison. So, like, that's going to be awesome because that's a really... they're
Mango.
That branding has been so on point. It's not even funny.
Winner of branding.
Good job, Madison.
Yeah.
Good flamingo header. I'm sure throwing a soccer ball at a flamingo was a really fun shoot. So that's good for you guys. Hey, there's people here and they have voices, and you might have heard some of them already. So I'm going to introduce them. First, it is the waviest man in the St. Louis metropolitan area, the cream in your Irish coffee. It is my dear friend Phil Grims. Phil, what's happening?
What's up?
How's life?
Good,
How's life
good.
in St. Louis?
Good. Got a new place. Really busy. My job's been out of control lately, and part of it though is like my new place of employment is next to a bar, and I hung out there a few nights in a row because it's next to it. And one night they bought me 1 million free drinks, and I paid for like 2 days for it, like a 2-day hangover. This is a thing that happens to 35-year-olds, I think.
Yeah, that happens.
That's what's been going on with my life.
Right on. I guess moving in a direct counter to that is the youngest member of this show consistently. Yeah. Ryan Allen with a new microphone for the 2019 season. Fingers crossed. Ryan, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. Just kind of going through classes and stuff here in Greenville.
Guys, it's so much better.
It is better.
It's so much better.
He's also like when he's in a normal room someday, like it'll be even
right.
better, but
yeah, when he gets out of the library in Greenville, it'll be hot. It'll be hot.
Yep.
It'll be really.
Just got to work with what I have.
That's fair. That's fair. But what you have now is so much better. Oh God, it's night and day. You need to go back and listen to like a podcast from the middle of last year and then compare. Because I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm sure all three of us, which includes, hey, speaking of new things, newly rebranded for the 2019 USL season. It is no longer at Iron Pony Chef on Twitter.
Actually, it still is.
Is it really?
Yeah. Just changed the name.
Man. The display name.
You guys are
changed.
Guy, come on, change that at, man. No one will notice. I did it halfway through a season.
Didn't know that.
It worked out fine.
What was it before?
At Valella BSFC, and then I went, I don't need to tie myself down to this team name. / my last name. Pony, what's up, man? How's it going? How's the dirty south of California?
It's not really South. But hey, it's
Well,
Valentine's Day, and I'm drinking and cheap beer by myself, talking about lower division soccer. So my life is going great.
good. That's what we do here, by the way, on the USL show. If you're not familiar, we do have friends who talk about League One in the USL at League One Fun. Good people, good podcast. Which has also enabled us to just talk about the championship because we wanted the top tier. We were not going to take no for an answer. So, yeah, welcome to it. No games, preseason games, sure, but I mean, how much are we really taking away from those until we talk about Las Vegas in a little bit? So let's get into some news. New Mexico continues to terrify me because they signed Chris Wehan.
It's a good one.
It's a very good one. Former San Jose Earthquake. I think he played 7 matches in their campaign 2 years ago and then got loaned out to Reno where he did some very good work. And what's nice is with more teams in USL and League One popping up, there will be less guys like Chris, who maybe 2 or 3 years ago would have kind of fell through the cracks, who gets picked up by New Mexico United. And now New Mexico United, Pony, get away from my hot take that's not very hot so I can be right and then be really proud about it, is like a playoff team in the West.
I'd say more than that. I'm willing to bet they'd put them in the top 5 of the West.
I'm looking up who all is on their team right now.
Mizell was a notable name that they signed.
Yeah, Cody Mizell.
Santi Moore is there.
Kevon Frater. He's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Suggs has been really good for Colorado, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Wehan's my favorite, though. I mean, you look at the list; it's good. Wehan is my favorite, and it's kind of like what I thought about Hopino. He went to Tampa Bay from Reno, and both these guys were like the feature assist maker in Reno. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And Wehan was kind of back and forth last year, so he never got solid ground. But my only question is, are these guys individually on their own amazing? Or does Reno pump out these assist makers in certain positions of the field? So, what do you guys think?
I mean, Hopino didn't come like he was a pro for a little bit before he went to Reno. So I don't know. I think Reno, they have a decently good working relationship with the Quakes. So they get some decent pieces from them. I don't know. I just think something about Reno, it's a tricky building for other teams to play in. The West is a little more fluid and a little more open, which isn't going to change with these guys going to New Mexico. But I mean, I do think if you look at it, like I think New Mexico is putting together a really strong, maybe not like a Nashville or like a Cincy, inaugural year roster, but it's definitely a solid team that they've built.
I'm liking it.
And Wehan is solid. I think in his first year, he was my rookie of the year vote a couple of years back when he was one of the league leaders in assists for Reno. And
it was like 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. His first year where he had Hopino and Kelly to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's going to be the one taking the assists, that could be a pretty strong team in New Mexico.
Yeah.
I mean, I think their ceiling is like Reno's first year. That's what I see the extent of what they could do, but they'll be dangerous.
And
he won rookie year November 2017.
I like
it. Yeah, and per the historical ELA ratings, after Sacramento, Reno 1868 was the best. Is tied for the best expansion season of all time in USL, alongside Tampa.
They're expected
goals? No, I was looking at ELO ratings.
Oh, ELO. Sorry, got it.
Yeah, New Mexico is one of only 2 new teams I could see making waves this year. Really, at this point.
That's interesting.
I mean, we had 4 goals and 3 assists last year with Reno, but he played in 14 games.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. And on the wing, and Hopino was kind of either a striker or slightly removed striker. So go. It's interesting to watch that, to see how these guys do on their individual teams. One in Tampa, one in New Mexico, and then see who does it this year for Reno, if anyone. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. By the way, I knew it. I was right. Okay. Chris Weehan's Rookie of the Year season in 2017, he put up 12 assists.
Which was his first year, yeah.
I believe, right? 12?
Yep.
Which was a record at the time. And he had 8 goals. What's fun is one of the runners-up for 2017 Rookie of the Year is now his teammate in Santi Moore. So
interesting.
New Mexico with 2 of the best players from 2 years ago. And Weehan only got 14 games and put up 7 points. And Santi Moore had, I think, 10 goals last year, or got close. He put in a good shift with Bethlehem in 2018. So that's 2 guys out in the wings that are going to do a lot of damage, I think, for New Mexico. And it'll be interesting to see how they line up and everything. But, yeah.
I think I just remembered that Suggs guy we just mentioned. Wasn't he the he's the best crosser in the USL, basically?
That sounds right.
Yeah, he was one of the best defenders for assists and crosses.
Yeah.
Really good for Colorado for a few years there.
Yeah, so another good one to watch.
Should we just stick with sorry, go for it.
No, you go for it.
Should we just stick with Reno?
Let's do it.
They bring in Corey Herzog, who Phil is quite familiar with. And so will people out in the Pittsburgh region. 4 goals for St. Louis and 41 shots last year. 27 starts, logged just under 1,500 minutes. I don't know if it's a like for like with Weehan, just because I always think of Herzog as more of just like an out-and-out goal scorer. But for a team like Reno that likes to, bang crosses in and set up these tall forwards, that's a pretty decent tall forward to bring in.
Yeah, he's sorry, we're talking about Herzog, right?
Yeah, Herzog.
His main thing is he's kind of a really smart player, like a really talented player that looks like he should score 1 million goals in a year and takes a lot of chances. In some years he does really well, and some years he doesn't. Last year, St. Louis was not the system for him. They also tried to use him as a 10, and it failed, and they figured it out a little bit too late. So that's not his fault either. Well, I don't know. It's not all his fault, but yeah, I hope people don't look at last year like Herzog's stats and think that he's not going to be good this year. Mm-hmm. And he's one of those guys where in training he was like really impressive. Everyone was like, "Holy crap, he's the guy that impresses you in training." And it just didn't translate to the St. Louis system last year. And there's a chance he could bounce back this year. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a good chance of it.
Yeah, Reno's not going anywhere. They're going to stay one of the best sides in the West. I was down on them last year, but I mean, this year, I don't think they're going to win the West, but they're going to really be hanging around and maybe even get that home game out of this.
I agree with you, and I think a lot of that is kind of what you touched on. I believe, Evan, you were talking about how open the West is, and I think really like it just fits their system really well. The coach, was it your interview with one of the Reno guys, Evan, where he talked about how they got guys in all over the entire pitch that were they were all goal scoring threats, even if they were a center back or a fullback, like that's the kind of thing he's looking for. It's a nice open system. It fits him. I think he sets up the team to be successful every year.
Yeah.
We'll just see how successful. The playoffs have been a problem for some reason.
Right. I think Reno missing the playoffs would be a shock.
Mm-hmm.
It's just where they're like the Louisville, Sacramento, Charleston, all those teams where they're going to be somewhere in the playoffs. It's just where.
Yep.
I think it's a funny juxtaposition that you have such a great affiliate of Reno down in USL, and it just doesn't translate up to MLS with San Jose.
It'll be interesting to see what Almeida makes of all that. For sure.
How so?
Just coming from Liga MX, where where I feel, I mean, they all have reserve teams and everything, and I feel like the Mexican teams especially value their academies, or at least know the value that they have in their academies. And not that the Quakes have like one of those dynastic academies like Red Bull or whatever, where they produce generational talents once every 4 years, but it'll be interesting to see if he leans into that MLS, or sorry, Academy USL MLS system a little bit more than previous regimes.
Mexican teams love their academy kids so much they give them an extra digit on their jersey.
They do, which is my favorite.
I like it.
It's really good. Number 937. It's gonna go places. What did we? I don't want to talk.
You're moving on to Vegas, aren't you?
There was a few things in the show notes that we skipped in between New Mexico.
Well, so like
Reno.
I know, but we were already on Reno, and I didn't want to have to come back for it
I
necessarily.
think it was a good move.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you for having my back.
Next of Reno, one of the first gambling cities, is another city.
All right, it was such a good segue. I guess we'll talk about it.
The city of lights, you might say.
The city of lights, I might say. The city of Winaldas. Las Vegas Lights Photoshop and/or raise a new banner for beating Toronto FC. Which, like,
in preseason.
In the preseason. And, like, I get it. It's cool. You beat them badly. But, like, can Eric Winalda... I was gonna... Yikes. Can Eric Winalda and the Las Vegas Lights social media team just... I'm not saying let's all be, super proper, because, like, I get it. There's a brand here. We're trying. But, like, can we just come back on it a little bit, please? It's a lot. And I don't have time for both your team social media and your coach social media to be petty, aggressive assholes all the time.
So I'm not like a Winalda expert. I don't know much about him, so I thought maybe he would join the team and they'd kind of take a few steps back this year.
No, he's worse than Chalice, really.
Did everyone knew Winalda was going to be like this? This is
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Just an alternative for Vegas instead of that prim and proper approach.
Yeah.
So they beat Toronto on the final day of the season last year. Toronto beat Atlanta United, who went on to win MLS Cup over Portland. I think the Las Vegas Lights should pull a Central Florida and claim MLS Cup as their championship, first title in team history. I didn't have a problem with Central Florida doing it. If you're going to have a brand like that, just lean in.
It's the only way they're going to have any silverware in the next few years, so why not?
Yeah, their team's not going to be any good, right?
It might actually be okay this year.
I think they are. They're looking pretty good. And I like the players brought in, to be honest.
Preseason, though. Like,
I'm not saying because of the friendly. I'm not saying it because of that. I was saying that because I read there was a story that kind of introduced like 6 of their players they signed and announced it once. And his little chat about each one of them and the way Winalda chatted about them, to me, said something. It kind of made me raise an eyebrow. And I think since then, I think they have a pretty good chance of making the playoffs like easily. But I'm willing to say I'm wrong in that regard. But I will go on record and say I think it's going to maybe work for them.
all right.
Yeah, I see him as like one of that play-in game teams, something around there before. If they win that, they're just going to get destroyed by somebody good. But I could see him be an 8th seed.
We'll see. We'll see if Winalda's a good coach when he's like there all the time, right? I don't know if he's proved himself in the past.
Not when he's FaceTiming his coaching staff.
Right. So,
this is definitely his highest profile job. He was the head coach of the Atlanta Silverbacks. He coached LA Wolves for like 2 Open Cup games or whatever that nonsense was. Regardless, it'll be nice to see him coach a professional team for I'm sure at least his contract runs through the entirety of this season at least, so we'll see. I won't I'll be hard on their social media team because I think they made the biggest mistake possible when they chirped it, the Steel Army. But as far as the team and everything, I'll give them a benefit of the doubt until the end of June, and we'll see where we are from there.
Do we have a Vegas Forward Madison friendly, like Carson suggesting? And
So what? We put the best and worst social media teams up against each other is your idea?
Yeah, probably.
It would be interesting banter online.
It sure would.
It would be throw in Alexi Lawless on play by play.
So what?
USL
Really
would
make it.
USL
I think
memes would have a field day.
Oh,
I
I'm
think
sure.
that one thing would probably end with the Vegas account getting banned from Twitter mid-match,
Yeah, probably.
or Pat McAfee hacks them.
Hey, moving on to things that I actively want to and enjoy talking about. Jake Edwards and company at the USL office met with the USL Players Association yesterday, so the 12th of February, 2 days ago, to talk about the first collective bargaining agreement in USL history. His tweet reads as follows, quote, working towards the betterment of the championship as a whole, league representatives met with the USLPA yesterday in Tampa, Florida to begin the process of negotiating the first collective bargaining agreement in league history. While it was just the first step in the process, all parties agree that the basic framework to begin bargaining in earnest has been established, and both sides look forward to continued progress over the coming months. We know people on that Players Association, do we not? Is Brandon Miller not a representative in some way, shape, or form?
Oh man, I hope so.
I'm sure we can know some of those guys. I'll have to dig into that. I thought Brandon Miller was a part of it, but
it seems like most of the representatives of each team are going to be a captain or someone who's pretty active in their team's community anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that'll happen. I think it's weird. It bothers me how quiet it is, but I think that's...
See, but I like that, though, because that means it's going well enough that no one needs to start anything.
I hope so. I think it can mean a lot of things. It might also mean nothing's happened yet. Someone mentioned that maybe there's some kind of legal thing where you can't talk about it until it starts or is official. And so there's a lot out there being talked about, but nothing from the Players Association. So I hope at some point they just have I would really like a press release or them to come on, do a video, just kind of bringing us up to date. I hope that happens.
And if only there was a podcast where they could get interviewed.
Per this Washington Post article from Stephen Goff published on November 27, 2018, it was an 11-man executive committee. Notable players include Connor Tobin, Trey Mitchell, and Tom Heineman.
Yep.
Yeah.
There are 3 of the notable ones that were listed in this article specifically, but obviously there would be 8 more beyond that for the 11-person council.
Okay.
And there have been a lot of random tweets from players around the USL Championship that are like, "Hey, can't wait to get going." Basically saying they're kind of the representative of the team. Yeah. So you can kind of see who's going to be in it, and I really respect the guys that are in it. So
I also, hi everybody, welcome back to me in 2019, where I'm going to get accused of glad handing the league, but I appreciate that they've been proactive in meeting with these guys.
Totally.
It can only benefit the league and its players.
To me, it just shows how smart they are, because they may hate this. They may be scared to death that this is going to affect their bottom line and all the plans they had, and rightfully so. It could really mess things up, but they haven't even mentioned that in the slightest. All it is positive. This is going to make it better. And so props to them, because I know businessmen get scared of unions and player associations, these sort of things. But they've been really supportive, and I love it. Good for them.
Hey guys, we get to talk about Canada for another year.
One more,
maybe. Ottawa Fury get drawn into qualifying round number 3 of the air quotes here Canadian Championship, because oh boy, if you don't like tournaments that are set up for top tier clubs to succeed, I have some very bad news. Toronto FC, as of time of recording, which this is February the 14th of 2019. I do not know when the first round game starts, but I imagine that it's not terribly close to now. Toronto FC is already in the semifinal. They will face the winner of Ottawa Fury, or what is that? Halifax Wanderers, Vaughan Azzurri, or
Valor
FC from Winnipeg.
So those first qualifying rounds will be between May 15th and the 22nd.
Yeah,
Ottawa won't
that's amazing.
be playing until July 10th through the 24th. Toronto not until August.
I'm gonna guess Toronto forgets this competition exists until like September.
Yeah.
So they'd be in the final by then, or burning down Ottawa Stadium when they meet.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Anyway, so Ottawa into the third round of the Canadian Championships. If you want to read something really goofy, look at Canada Soccer's tweet, or just find the bracket online because it's disgusting. And then never complain about the Open Cup ever again. Okay, thanks. Because man, it's rough. Teams that are already into the quarterfinals also include Montreal and Vancouver. So
just give me Pacific FC versus Vancouver in the quarterfinals.
I'd be okay with that. Anyway, I mean, not like there's a chance for one of these CPL teams to beat Vancouver or Montreal or Toronto even or whatever, but like, I don't know.
I think the Eddies might make a good return, possibly. They've built a good team before. You know?
I forgot that they're back because their new logo is not the same as their old logo, and I didn't see them unveil it.
I assume it's the same organization. Maybe that's
it is.
Okay.
No, it is.
So those three teams, Valor based out of Winnipeg, Forge. It's so tough with these CPL sites who don't like name it after their cities, which I'm not a fan of. But and Valor, Forge, and FC Edmonton will be the three teams competing for a spot in that CONCACAF Europa League type competition. Yeah. So they'd be joined in with the Central American and Caribbean sides. So I don't know what format they're going to go after. I would assume it'd be whoever advances furthest in Canadian championships will get that spot.
Unless they make it the winner of the Premier League.
Although I don't think the season would be over by then because this comp's starting in summer.
Interesting.
Maybe they just don't have one the first year.
I'm not sure. It was those three teams who got buys who are going to be those teams competing for that CONCACAF League spot.
Yeah.
Could have been a draw.
Could have been
random. Maybe we need to get a Canadian on to talk about that.
Might do.
I think we should definitely because the Fury will be in it. Might as well talk about it once, nice and strong while we can.
And there's some USL guys kicking about in the CPL.
That's true too.
You know, we'll have a Canadian primer in there somewhere.
We can pull it off.
I think we can. Back to the championship news. El Paso Locomotive signs English goalkeeper Jermaine Forta. Is this the guy they did the locker room prank on that I saw like yesterday on Twitter?
If so, I don't know it. What happened? Tell us more.
There was, as I Google and talk at the same time, I think it was El Paso.
Googled it for you.
It's cool. It's cool. I didn't think to look into it until just about now. But they signed a trialist, and the way they told him that he was signed is they put his nameplate up on a locker, and then their head coach was like, "Oh, hey, can you grab me that Gatorade like that was in the cubby?" And he didn't notice it, so he was like, "Oh, grab me those boots." And then he was like, he turned around and he was like, "Oh, that's good." And he totally had a British accent, so I wonder if it was him. Anyway, more trialists. Phil, I think you tweeted this. More trialists, and I've noticed it more in League One, like you have. But more trialists are getting signed this year. I feel like than past.
Yeah, I know at least one was signed at Tucson, and then we saw this guy get signed, and I don't know if it's happened anywhere else, to be honest. But yeah, more this year in League One than in past. It's usually like one guy in the entire league, basically, in the championship.
I think the more availability of teams allows for more chances for these trialists.
Yeah, and Forward Madison actually replied to that tweet saying, you know, the way they gave us more into the story, saying this guy came and he was just like head and shoulders above everyone else in the tryout, and so they brought him into regular training and he was keeping up, and maybe it was good, and so they were like, well, it was just obvious in this case. So I kind of maybe, as I normally do, I'm like, oh, does this tie into other things around the league? Try to give us a big perspective, and I think they were kind of saying, maybe this is a trend, but maybe this is also just a special thing. So
update on video. It was Jermaine Forda. I just posted it in our live chat, which is a good segue for me to tell you that we go live every Thursday until the season starts. Then we're probably switching back till Tuesdays. We'll keep you posted at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. If you want to hang out live, youtube.com/the USL show. Hit that subscribe button. You'll get notifications when we go live, like right now. Yeah. And you can hang out and tell me that I'm right or tell me that I'm wrong or various other variety of things that you can tell me about. Yeah, so there's the video of Jermaine Ford. It's a really good one. He apparently like paid his way to like a hotel for the last week or two. Another one of those guys, Phil, like you were saying with Madison, that just went above and beyond in terms of just off the field stuff and, you know, being a professional player without being a professional player. And then they gave him a contract. So good on him. And never hurts to have a second or third goalkeeper kicking around like that for sure. So good on you, son.
Well
Come
done.
on the show, we'll talk.
And maybe
West
we'll
Ham
have
U23 was with the Cosmos B, which is just the New York Cosmos at this point. Yeah.
I don't know much about this one. Real Monarchs acquire Luis Palma. Anyone know this? On loan from CDS Vita.
Youth Honduran International. CDS Vita is a team in Honduras. Apparently impressed with CDS, so we'll see.
19-year-old attacking midfielder in the notes, it says. That's exciting for sure, actually, especially in the Real Monarchs system. Real, you know, what is it? Salt Lake.
Salt Lake, yeah.
You know how to develop players pretty well. So
they know how to develop really good Central, South / Latin American players for sure.
American.
That's true. Yeah, but I think they have more of a knack for signing, or at least developing. You know, Joel Plata comes to mind.
Aha, yes. Well
for
done,
sure.
sir.
If they can train Palma with Plata a little bit, that might be an issue. If they can if they can buy him from Vita.
Yeah, Palma's the second guy from Vita who's joining the team. With Douglas Martinez being the one who was signed earlier, or not who joined this team earlier, but there'll still be a solid side for Monarchs next year. I mean, they have Portillo coming back. They got Noah Powder from Orange County, Conrad Plua, Mikel Chang is all back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After that first year, that was a down year. The Monarchs have been one of the better teams for the last few seasons, even though they tend to flame out halfway through.
Yeah. Coach change or not, right?
Yeah. Couple more signings, and we'll get into some results. What do we got here? Clint Page joins the North Carolina FC coaching staff. Former US U15 coach. Dave Sarakan just kind of bulking up his staff. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do with the club team. I thought he did a really nice job as a caretaker manager and played the kids like everyone wanted him to. And I'm just curious to see if that'll bleed into him coaching North Carolina at all.
Well, here's the deal. I actually have an interview with Austin Poncho, and that's just on STL Soccer Report. That's just because he's a local boy. I'm going to release that this week, I think. And but what's cool about it is that national team connection is actually working because Austin's brother Logan is like friends with Pulisic, and they were both in the youth system in the national team. And so that was part of how that happened. And we've seen Hackworth get some really interesting loanees because of his,
Well, and he only went and won the USL title.
There's that too. Which we'll see how that goes this year, but it's nothing but good and nothing but interesting for USL to have these two guys that have the national team connections to youth. So perhaps coaches in MLS will trust their American youth down with these guys, and they'll have some interesting players throughout the year.
And talking to Brendan Burke this afternoon, to be selfish for a hot second, he always talks about how the quality of play in the championship is. So the reason Bethlehem didn't want to drop down, or the reason they moved to Talon, I suppose, to not drop down, was kind of twofold. One, in that the quality of play in the championship is a lot better for the kids that they have right now. Like, they don't feel like they would have gotten Mark McKenzie and Austin Trusty and Anthony Fontana and Brendan Aronson and Matt Real to the first team if they were in a lower league that had, a lower quality of play. And the response to League One is either they just know that it's not going to be as good, or they don't know what it's going to be like. So there's no point in risking it being bad. And then, instead of having to play do we want to keep our kids in the academy or bring them up to this league that's not, as good as what we've had, they just know what they have in the championship and they're going to stay there. So off of that, I think not only is the quality of play in the championship better, the quality of coaching is a lot better. I don't think this league has ever had as many U.S. national team coaches at any level as they have now.
Yeah. And to add to that, someone mentioned today as a side note that our youth national team coaches are spread thin as hell. There's like one for every other age group, basically, and they're having to do double duty, literally double duty, and no one knows exactly why. I'll stop there because we all know what kind of conversation this would end up being if I kept going.
Yeah. Well, thinking League One to championship, where do you think the best League One team would be comparative to the championship this year? Like mid-table?
No.
Or not even close to there?
I'd say middle bottom. Like 12 in West East.
I think
10 to 12.
And how they do in the Open Cup. We're already seeing some results here in preseason friendlies. Birmingham had one against Chattanooga Red Wolves, which we'll touch on later. But I'd say 13 through 15.
It's going to be a weird year, maybe watching the kickers, they have lowered a little bit their player signing level, but not a lot. So if the kickers destroy the league, then I think we have an idea that League One might be bad. But if the kickers are mid-table, then we might have a decent idea that League One's going to be pretty good.
Friendly reminder to check out our friends at League One Fun for all that news and information. What I will say, and they've done a very good job at digging in and trying to figure this all out, Loudoun United is freaking me out. What are they? 2 players. Well, and so they're not just freaking me out from a we have nobody signed standpoint. They're freaking me out from it feels like they're just doing what their big brothers in the tri-state area are doing, like Red Bull and the Union, but they don't know why or how they're doing it. They're like, okay, clearly a USL team is a smart thing to have. Now what?
It does feel exactly like
we do it. We bought this team, yay! And Red Bull and the Union are like, well, okay, they're not in the right league. There's one.
It's bad. I mean, if you don't even have 11 players 4 weeks out from the kickoff, I mean, is DC just going to loan down 10?
Listen,
first week?
if it's just their U17, 18s and a smattering of U16s, that's cool. I don't really care. And no, you don't have to sign all those kids, but
make an attempt.
That's it. I care at that point. Why are they in this league if that's what they're going to do?
I don't know.
It's we don't need a team that's going to get 2 or 3 wins all season.
Yeah, it could be like Toronto too, or worse. Worse
league.
What was that, Ryan?
We don't need another Antigua in the league.
Yeah, right.
No.
Okay, it can't ever be that bad again. I mean, you could put a good high school team out there, and they're going to stumble across the point somewhere.
Best case scenario, Loudoun United is second half FC Montreal.
That's actually a decent team usually, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
No, first half of the season, FC Montreal was bad.
Well, second half was good though.
Yeah,
second half was really good, but it didn't matter because they were so bad in the first half.
August, September, they came alive for some reason when they knew they had no hope at the playoffs.
Yeah, as soon as they announced they got shuttered, they were like, "We're good though. We're playing for those contracts somewhere else next year, baby." Speaking of, I guess that'll segue nicely into my Bethlehem Steel talk, which was what I wanted to get to. Haha, I did it. as we all know, Bethlehem Steel are going younger than they did last year, which is amazing. So as a result, I'm handing in my resignation, being 24 years old, at covering the team now because my time is up. I've hit the cutoff age. It was a joke, but Coach Burke did cut me from the team today, so can't play with him anymore, unfortunately. He did say my favorite tidbit from our very informal interview. He said everyone that did what we are trying to do this season is now defunct, which is awesome.
How so? What do you mean?
They want to be Toronto FC2, Montreal FC, and Orlando City B in terms of their age makeup.
Okay.
And how they treat the cutoff dates for players.
Well, Seattle sound like Tacoma, Defiance now, are similar to that.
Good save. Yeah, and he said they're not going to do anything that we haven't seen them do before. So they apparently have some youth internationals in the works as far as signings go. They're going to bring in some academy kids. They want to poach a couple kids from college, like they did with Zach Zandy this year. But they are really tightening up on that age range and really figuring out what they want to do as far as that goes with Ernst Tanner at the helm instead of Ernie Stewart. So yeah,
that's cool though. I'm down for that as long as they're still competitive and try. The only thing I don't like about it is now losing. I'm sorry, Evan, but I hate this. I hate that they're not out in where were they? Sorry,
Lehigh University.
Lehigh. I just hate that they're not in their own spot anymore.
Yeah.
They did have a bit of a fan base, especially being the way they are. So I hope they move back out somewhere out there again at some point.
Tim McDermott has been tweeting more than usual, which is to say basically at all, that they're actively trying and looking for spots for those 2 games this season that are supposed to be up in Bethlehem, that they're eventually probably going to turn into a home spot. So I think if they find a spot for those 2 games, that's going to end up being their home. The devil's advocate is they're doing a lot of double headers this year with the Union, which might get people out to see some of those academy kids, which if you've ever tried to attend academy games is not the easiest thing in the world to do. And then the other devil's advocate is that everyone's closer to Chester at any given time anyway. So logistically for the club, it's a little easier. No, that's not a great excuse, but it's what I got.
No, it doesn't sound like it'll be permanent, and I hope that's true.
I hope it's true too. I mean, I could very well see them making it permanent after trying for a couple months, but I really hope that they don't. And they put the team back in Bethlehem. Anyway,
can I also mention, since we kind of mentioned the Defiance, that it wasn't in our news notes, but did you guys see that friendly where the Sounders threw all their academy kids in the last 30 minutes and the center back, the Estonian center back, elbowed the hell out of Ocampo Chavez on purpose?
Oh no!
If you didn't see this clip, go watch it. It is as bad as it can be. His name's Kiki something, a center back for Houston Dynamo, and literally, they had a lot of energy. Houston was tired. It was the last end of the game in a friendly in preseason, and he was stuck with the ball, and 2 guys were just running him down, and he literally stood at the end line and elbowed the hell out of him instead of trying to turn out of danger. It was ridiculous.
How did it compare to Lacazette's elbow in their game against Borisov today?
Oh, was it that bad? I saw some news. I didn't see it though.
Well, yeah, he was sent off.
Did you see the Sergio Ramos of the Greater Seattle?
Yes. Yes, I hope this dude gets what's coming to him, to be honest. I hope he gets something in retaliation, because they're talking about how preseason they may not suspend him or fine him or anything.
Right.
I did hear that it is possible for MLS to do that. But if he doesn't get anything, he should get something, if you know what I mean, is all I'm saying.
Mark him a little bit, maybe.
I would, but I don't think the real soccer players are as revenge savvy as I tend to be.
Petty as you are.
Yeah, as petty. Exactly. That's what I was getting at.
Right on. Yeah, let's burn through some results. Oh man, where do we want to start here? We'll just go down the line. No, we won't, because the first one, yeah, I won't. Yeah, I'll save that. Birmingham beat Chattanooga 3-1, like Ryan said a little bit earlier. Chandler Hoffman has the first goal for Birmingham. Yeah, he'll be good for them. Good win.
One at home.
Yeah.
That's good. Isn't that the first result we've seen from Birmingham? And we kind of have no idea what they're going to look like. So it's good. They beat a team that's in a lower division than them pretty handily. That's what you want.
Yeah, I mean, they have potential to be good. I mean, looking at that team, for me, after the top 5 in the East, it becomes wide open. And Birmingham's in that second group for me, where if they finish 6th, 7th, I think it's better than expected, but it wouldn't shock me.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, some examples of players they have just based on who they've signed from from the transfer tracker. I mean, we already know of Chandler Hoffman, but they have Eric Avila, Mikey Lopez, Matt O'Kell from OKC.
Experience. It's a good start. We'll see what they can do.
Yeah.
What do you think? Reno in San Jose?
Yeah, this is weird.
It is a little weird.
Reno 1868 FC 3, San Jose Earthquakes 0. Just real quick, I'll throw in another one to compile to Toronto's misery. I don't know if y'all saw that Orange County tweeted out, like, due to circumstances beyond our control, we can't live tweet any of the match tonight against Toronto FC, but DM us if you want details. And I went, I sure do, friends. Tell me who scored and what happened. The game finished 1-1. Orange County won off a long throw-in on like the last kick of the game.
Look at that.
That's how they got their equalizer. So there you go. A goofy preseason for Toronto, who are being very guarded about what happens in their preseason friendlies. I think it's because their fans are all mad they sold Giovinco for like $3 million.
Anyway. I say Sacramento had a weird guarded score last night too, where they were playing a League 2 team, and they gave a bit of score at 30 minutes, 1-0, and then that was the last thing they gave until about noon today.
Weird.
Sacramento won 9-1.
Jeez. I think if that scoreline is that extreme in your favor, like, you kind of do that just to protect the other guys. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I think Sacramento's playing all their starters.
So. But no, it's not like Toronto, besides the Vegas game, are getting like absolutely blown out or anything, which is the weird part.
It's what Manchester City did. It's what Manchester City did to Burton.
Yeah,
and Chelsea.
Yeah,
and Chelsea.
Yeah. That was a good game. It was a very good game. Yeah, Reno beating San Jose 3-0 is not great for everybody involved, because I'm sure Reno, wants to provide players for the Earthquakes, but at the same time, I don't think anyone in the Earthquakes necessarily wanted to get beat by their affiliate 3-0.
Maybe they should switch that affiliation deal.
Maybe.
I don't know if everyone knows, but if you guys watched the CONCACAF Champions League last year, Toronto lost to Chivas, right? In the end.
Yes.
And it was against their new coach. San Jose's new coach is Matias Almeida. So he's a really high profile coach to be in a place like San Jose. So, Matt Doyle thinks this coach is going to be awesome for them. But he also thinks the Earthquakes are going to be terrible this year because it's just, player wise, it's not looking too good. But
and there's a learning curve, I think, between
always
Liga MX, where you have the Closera and the Apuerta. It's a different system for sure.
Apparently, they're trying to get a Closera and Apuerta for CPL.
I thought
interesting.
That would be interesting.
That'd be probably smart for them, though, especially, right?
I don't think there's enough teams.
I'd just be curious how they'd set it up. If they're going to do the same kind of spring to, or if they do the same kind of March to November setup, you'd be avoiding playing in November or in the summer.
Yeah, I don't know either.
And then the winter would obviously just be an off season. I mean, they could just do it for international break in June, July.
I wonder. They definitely want the dead of summer up there, though, right? Right?
Yep.
Somehow.
The
big one.
In case you, in case you wanted a reminder that the Revolution are bad, Louisville City beat them 3-1. Led 2-0 at that. I honestly think Louisville City could beat New England Revolution like any time of year.
They beat them in the Open Cup, I think, right?
Yeah,
they did.
Here's hashtag Robert Kraft do something.
Yeah.
No, why would he do something? Come on.
He's making enough money off of that other sport that he owns a team in.
The
Not
eSport
enough.
Overwatch.
It's never enough.
And at least update their logo. They're still the only one in MLS since 1996 to not update the logo.
I like it though.
At this point, it's a classic.
Yeah,
It's nostalgic now.
Right. It's like your uncle who's still wearing stuff from the 80s, and then it was cool again for a while.
It's like how Champions back in style, and like that just kind of used to be the brand that was like a little shitty, and now you're like, oh, all right, Champion.
It's back.
It's that. Like I'm expecting to see like old Revs kits at Urban Outfitters or something next week.
Yeah, no kidding.
Come back.
Is
The
this
American
new or
Association of Alliance Football.
Yes,
So bring back the '94 U.S. World Cup jersey.
the denim one. I love that kit.
The Stars and Stripes one that was
Yeah.
ugly beyond
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah,
Waldo
I want
kit.
the rocket pop back again.
Waldo or nothing.
All right, fine. Yeah.
What happened between Indy 11 and Cincinnati? That's what I
Hey
wanna
man, I'm glad you asked. I shut down Brian Cook on his Dane Daniel, which his name's not even Daniel. Brian.
Yep.
That's why I hated it.
know. I did too. But I
The
didn't
meme was damn Daniel, not Dane Daniel. Back at it again with those white Vans. Also, he's not going to be wearing Vans, and I doubt his boots are white. So 0 for 4, Brian. Sorry, try again later. What happened was Indy 11, who like now have USL hopes and dreams this year because new money and signing good players, beat MLS hopefuls and owner of a white T-shirt for an away kit, FC Cincinnati, 3-2, which is exciting. I did talk to him earlier. Brian said I would have loved this in the regular season last year, but you know. Everyone's favorite preseason standout trialist scored in the 29th minute for Indy, Matt Watson in the 34th, and Dean Kelly with the winner in the 60th. Nick Hagland in the 12th, Darren Maddox in the 35th for FC Cincinnati. Guys, a question for you. Is it weird, or is it going to be tricky that like Indy has guys like Dane Kelly where it's like if they put in 10 goals this year in USL, that's underachieving?
Well, Dan Kelly did badly with Swope Park, but Swope Park was also like a possession team, whereas every other team he's been in is like gone, run, get out of here and run your ass off. So
yeah.
I think Indy 11's going to be, I don't know. I think
they're going to be more counter oriented. I think Rennie's a little more open to different styles.
In fact, I think Dane Kelly is more perfect for them than Lancaster, is what I'm kind of thinking.
Okay.
I think I'd actually like to see. I'd like to talk to Brian about that and Richard about that from BGN Renton and see what they think. But yeah, I think Lancaster isn't going to match their setup that well, but I do think Dane Kelly will be perfect for them.
Yeah, they I mean, haven't really been watching them, but they were good on paper, and their results have also been good. I think it's one of those where Indy, I mean, I guess you can't call someone who made playoffs most improved, but
not really.
That team, I think you could legitimately argue that they're the best team in the East.
Yeah. I think, yeah. They have to be.
I think Nashville, Louisville could still make the case, but
we'll see.
I was mixing teams there. I didn't realize it, but I meant it still happens. It still works. Lancaster's in Nashville. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But they're similar, and I still think that holds true.
Mm-hmm. Ryan talked to. Oh, actually, real quick, we missed one because it's all the way down here. Leo Torres is now the youngest player to sign a USL contract at 15 years old. 15 years and 23 years old.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm in the Eastern Conference, or I would just scream at him about why he's, doing things at 15. I'd be very old man yells at Porsche. Reminder, I'm 9 years older than that. I almost called him a gentleman, than that literal child. Which is not a slight on him as a person. I'm sure he's a wonderful kid, but he's like legally and legitimately, like by the law, a kid. So very cool that he signed a pro deal at 15 years and 23 days. I imagine San Antonio FC, being a club that is not dumb, definitely sees a bright future for this kid if they locked him up at 15. And might have maybe saw that there was some Mexican or Central American clubs sniffing around, perhaps.
Oh, I wonder. I also like to compare it to LA Galaxy's Los Dos. They snagged up. Oh man, I'm so bad with names. Efrain Alvarez at 15, basically, because they were like, "Listen, it's got to happen now. He's good enough. We trust that he's going to pay off. We're going to sign him now, or else we're going to lose this kid."
Yes.
And that's going to start happening more and more and more. You saw Ricardo Pepi down in North Texas, because if you don't do that, then you look at the other Galaxy guys like Yanez, some guys, Ledesma over at Real Monarchs. Those guys weren't signed at the age of 15. And by 17, they said, I want to go to Europe. And so watch this. It's going to keep happening.
Our favorite Texan, Harry Austin, just said San Antonio's U15 team is ranked 4th in the U.S. Soccer Development Academy.
Oh, that too. Isn't that crazy?
There's probably a reason they snapping them up then.
Good on them. Good on them.
Yeah, so that's really cool. Congrats to everyone over at the Academy. That's a huge honor, and that's not something I take lightly, for sure, to have a team that high up in the system being ranked 4th.
As a USL,
yes.
That's amazing. I just want to say one more thing, and is that I think this is also an example of USL teams experimenting with making up for not getting payments as an academy, selling their team off to Europe by just signing them to pro contracts. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This, like, maybe we can make money off these kids somehow. We can make our money back. And this is maybe how, is by signing them at 15, and then it's a pro contract, so they have to be bought by someone at some point. So
yes. Yeah.
Keep an eye on that too.
Ryan, talk to me about the Carolina Challenge Cup.
So it's basically another edition of the Challenge Cup, when the Battery get to host Chicago Fire, Columbus Crew, who are the defending champs of the Cup, and SC Cincinnati for this kind of 3-day tournament for the next week down in Charleston. It should be a lot of fun. It starts on the 16th with Columbus Chicago and Charleston Cincinnati, a former USL matchup, which of course keeps in the tradition that Cincinnati and Charleston have to face each other for the first match of the season.
Yep.
The February 20th midweek games are Charleston, Columbus, and Cincinnati, Chicago. And the February 23rd games is Cincinnati, Columbus versus Hellas Real Derby of the season, and Charleston, Chicago. I'm actually looking at attending that February 23rd kind of event, so I'll probably likely be in Charleston for those games.
So go find Ryan.
I'll be trying to track down Schweinsteiger or Federico Higuain for autographs.
Play the media card and just talk to him.
I'll try.
I always like it when USL teams start their own little thing like this. And I know there's MLS teams in there too, but I like these little tournaments in preseason rather than just random games all over the place. I think it's cool.
No, it's been going along for a while. It used to be that Wilmington actually competed in it in its early stages.
How come NCFC isn't in it?
I think they want to have 3 MLS sides in it rather than 2 and 2 USL.
Boo.
Gate.
Yeah.
They had Orlando City and NYCFC in the same tournament a few years ago.
Yeah.
That was when they both had Kaká and David Villa.
Twitter question. I'm gonna hate answering this, so I'll kick to Pony. Matt TW at Bow Round and Round. I think he was in the chat earlier. I'd like to hear some predictions for the season. Top teams from each conference winners, league champion team most likely to self-relegate after 2019, which is a great joke, by the way, etc. For now, Give me your top 3 teams. I will let you pick top 3 however you'd like to, because Matt did not specify, so I will not. From both conferences this year.
Okay, well, I'll pull up my spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet where I keep moving teams around.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
So right now, as it stands, and this has changed the last 24 hours or so, top 3 in the East, I have Nashville, Louisville, Indy, which I think is kind of chalk picks.
Mhm.
Out West, though, I have Phoenix, Sacramento, and right now, I have Reno as number 3.
That's fun.
So punch to somebody else.
I'm just gonna say that I gotta put the Riverhounds in the top 3 in the East and take out one of those. I'm gonna take out Nashville.
I said Riverhounds are good, but I'm still worried about how they're going to good playoff run.
Yeah, they didn't do that last year, Phil, remember?
What's that?
The Hounds in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think I remember looking in like the last 5 years, the Hounds have been eliminated by PKs more than they've been eliminated in regulation.
Yeah.
You may be right. You know what? I've been having a lot of faith in them throughout this year. And I think Lilly realizes that everyone figured out they should just give him the ball and just force him to try to score. And I'm not sure he's going to get over that this year. But he knows that he knows that he needs to. You know, he's talked about it in the Mongols interview with him that's what he knows he needs to improve. So we'll see how good Lilly is. If he figures it out, look out. You know.
Yeah. And I'm not at all low on Pittsburgh. They're my number 4 in the East.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But I still have. I think one of Indy or Nashville is going to fail miserably. I don't know. I just got this weird feeling that I think one or the other is going to be terrible, even though they have who they have.
Someone always does. We saw Tampa do it last year.
Exactly. Yeah, I think one of two is the next Tampa. I really do. I don't trust the coaches. I don't trust that both those coaches are going to figure it out no matter who they have in the lineup.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I really like your point, which is my problem.
Okay.
I mean, one thing Indy has going for them is that they've signed like 4 players from Cincinnati who at least those 4 know how to play with each other, and Dank's proven that he knows how to score at a USL level.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, we saw the problems with Nashville last year that they had trouble scoring. Yeah, it does help mitigate it. They signed Cameron Lancaster, who led the league in goals with 26, but it's also one guy. It doesn't solve an entire team.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy, here we go. Phil, you're making me second guess myself. Because I was gonna go in the East. I was gonna go Louisville and Indy, but now I kind of want to do Louisville. I think it comes together for Nashville more than it comes together for Indy, so I'm going to keep Nashville, and then I want to do Tampa.
Well,
the bounce back.
What's that?
The bounce back season.
Yeah, well, and like I know that their away form has been a problem like since they've existed ever, but I really like the guys that they brought in. Some of them I like personally, so I'm a little biased. John McCarthy's a lovely person. But yeah, I don't know. Like, you can't be that bad on the road for that long, right? Like, it's got to turn around.
I think we had that last year, though.
We did, and it didn't. So I'm doing it again in the hopes that it does.
Pony, who did you pick in the West again?
West, I had Phoenix, Sacramento, and Reno for now.
Yeah, it's Phoenix, Sacramento, and I'll be cheeky and say, no, I can't do it. It's Reno. I think those are the top 3. I think San Antonio's in with a shout somewhere for sure, but I don't know if they're like top 3 good.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could argue San Antonio, New Mexico, Monarchs, Orange County.
Yeah, and I like my hot take that I have about New Mexico making the playoffs being just incredibly room temperature. So I'm not going to say that they're in my top 3.
Because then the chance...
I put New Mexico in my top 5 at that 5 spot.
Interesting.
I think I have them at 6 right now, so...
Checks
but then
out.
again, I said Fresno was going to be good last year, and they were Fresno. So,
oh, man, that was disappointing. I thought they were going to be better too. I think Orange County's got to be in there instead of Reno for me, but otherwise, I like your lineup there.
I think Fresno are going to be better this year too. By the way, I like the guys they brought in.
I don't
Conference
trust them anymore.
winners, league champs,
yeah,
relegate.
Yeah, let's talk about relegate. We've kind of talked about champs. Who's going to self-relegate?
Who's going to self-relegate? Oh man, who's left? It's like
I think maybe Los Dos might be a good shout.
Loudon.
I mean, we want Loudon.
T2.
T2 maybe. I think maybe if League One ends up being good, I think Tacoma might want to go down. Maybe.
Yeah, Sounders 2 is a really good shout.
Yeah, this Sounders, Portland.
Sorry,
maybe.
Tacoma. Sorry, Tacoma Defiance. Sorry. I really like your name too.
Watch North Texas next year. Like if these kids improve on a grand scale.
Can I give a League One fun hot take on this show?
Yeah, we should. I mean, is someone? I wish like Jason or someone was on.
I know. I think they'll hear it though. I think North Texas wins League One.
No man.
Yeah.
Is that your League One fun hot take?
What's that?
Is that your League One fun hot take?
That's my League One fun hot take.
I like it.
I know.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Who the hell do Richmond have on their team? Anybody?
They're kind of maintaining. I think they'll do fine.
That's fun. Okay.
I think they'll do fine.
I just think North Texas are going to be fun in a good way and win.
I'd say if I had to say a team that's not a MLS2 team self-relegates, I think to me the leaders are probably Tulsa and Colorado.
Yeah, I can see the switchbacks going down, and at least until they figure out their stadium deal.
I'm just looking at those are teams that have pretty low attendance on average. I mean, Charlotte was low too, but I think they're figuring out stadium situations.
Man,
I've been dunked on twice in a row by Harry and Matt in the chat, and they said over the Red Wolves or Greenville, and now I don't know. Now I'm scared.
Oh no.
I guess I'll ride out with North Texas FC because I'm not the guy in League One fun. So my hot take will just kind of slip into the void.
Just got to double down.
Yeah. It's not a hot take if you don't like, if it's not like controversial. It's not the easy choice. So I like
what if the easy choice to be like, oh, I want everyone in League One to do really well. But no, I had to strap my name to a team.
Exactly.
For whatever my name.
All the teams to have fun.
You also had
joke's on you, North Texas FC. My name means nothing.
Yeah, and here's the problem: North Texas FC is that, or SC, is that you kind of had faith in Toronto too last year. Remember, not to bring up that.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh, I don't.
It just has that vibe to me. Is all I'm saying.
We'll save it for the blooper reel.
Yeah.
North Texas.
Yeah. The worst of Evan on the USL show, and it'll be like, I like Toronto FC this year. And it'll be like, North Texas is gonna win League One, and then it'll be like, what if I told you a man made really bad hot takes and never got held accountable for them? ESPN 30 for 30 presents.
Then he
take that,
Stephen A. Smith,
not
Skip
the
Bayless.
Oh, I don't.
North Texas wins, and North Texas they lock it up by the start of August. You gotta just double down, make it even more obscure.
Yeah.
If they do it,
if I
you're
fill
a
in for
genius.
Skip Bayless, then I have to talk to Stephen A. Smith for an extended period of time, and I don't want to do that.
Who wants to talk to either of those people?
Well, nobody. But anyway, guys, are we? Do we do it?
I think so. We better wrap it up.
Cool. Yeah, let's get out of here. If you want to follow this show and all the nonsense that it entails on the internet, feel free to do it at couple.com/the USL show, or just, search the USL show on Twitter. It's another thing you can do. YouTube.com/the USL show, so you can follow along with us live on our live stream, 9 p.m. Eastern. Dunk on me not in person, but dunk on me in real time. It's fun. I promise. I think everyone that dunked on me tonight agreed that they had a good time. We'll hear back. Check out our website, theuslshow.com. There you will find a couple of links. One of them is an orange and blue, or if you're colorblind, a gray and gray logo. Click on that. Buy some soccer merch. Yeah, and we'll get a little kickback from that. Tell DK you said hi. It's a really cool group of guys running out of California area. Or you can also find us patreon.com/the USL show. Guys, for 2019, I'm coming up with a format change. I'm going to tell you what it is, so I hold myself accountable to it. We're going to play and we're gonna have to figure out a night to actually nail this down because I do want to do it every month, but I want it to be structured just because of what it is. I'm going to, for the first time ever, Dungeon Master a D&D game that's USL themed.
Oh my gosh.
And we're going to play it.
Can you base it off the map that laid the USL teams over Middle Earth? I want to take the Eagles to Tampa.
No, I'm going to base it off that we're all in Tampa, Florida to start. There it goes from there. So,
I've never played. You might have to help me, but
I haven't. So, Phil, my experience with Dungeons and Dragons is, and where I'm getting my inspiration from, if anyone wants me to really peel back the curtain, is a lovely podcast by the McElroy brothers, who do the hilariously funny My Brother and Me, called The Adventure Zone, which is a Dungeons and Dragons podcast that is bonkers and really funny. So, yeah, we're gonna play some D&D, and that'll be our running Patreon treat every month. Is some D&D.
I think it'll be fun. I'm excited about it.
I have to. It's going to be a good bit of daydreaming when I'm selling people cheese and things, but it'll be worth it. Perhaps maybe I can rope in some special guests from the league. Let me write all these checks that my ass can't catch.
Dungeons and Dragons featuring Mike Watts and Ryan Madden.
Mike Watts and Ryan Madden.
Jake Edwards playing himself.
Yes. Oh, it's got to be. I want it to be Mike Watts as Jake Edwards as Ryan Madden.
That would be fun.
It'll be good. No, so yeah, we'll figure that part out. Anyway, I thought of that the other day and I went, this is too funny and crazy to not try, at least. So we'll do that. I'm so glad that Kevin's not going to find out about that. Not that you guys knew about it beforehand either, but he won't find out about it until like he listens to this back. So that'll be fun. Hey, follow me, myself, personally on Twitter at SpeakEvanSpeak. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, other things like that, definitely let me to know. Definitely let me to know. Do it. Other people start talking. Phil, where can people find you on Twitter?
Phil Grooms, 2 L's, 2 O's.
Great. Pony, where can people find you on the internet?
At Iron Pony Chef.
Yeah, it's still there right now. Just change your app, man. Just change your
maybe
app.
One of these days.
Yeah, just go full reboot.
I'm kind of lazy about those things.
Well, it takes like 30 seconds. Jesus.
That's 30 seconds they won't get back.
Okay. It's 30 seconds you won't be paying attention to your cat, and apparently that just can't happen, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she's really a pain.
There she is.
Hey, it's like she knew. Hi, Griff. She's like, they're talking about me, those assholes. Ryan, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at ILM_Ryan, and I want to at least real quickly bring up overall thoughts on the national logo, the new one.
Oh, not great.
Boo.
Yeah.
Shape is fine. I don't like the design. The sound waves.
See, I'm different. I mean, I don't hate it, but there was a pointless rebrand. It was like when Cincinnati did theirs. Like you just made it worse.
Yep.
It's not bad, but you took a good one and made it bad. You took a good thing and made it average.
Yeah. Fair enough. Hey, everybody. Until next week, thanks for listening to the USL show. We will definitely talk to you guys soon. And if you're looking for League One news, check out our friends at League One Fun and the rest of the Beautiful Game Network for all the team-specific podcasts over there. Until next time, take care. Don't be a dick, and we'll see you when you're older.